Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvenavaditamastu Mavit Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We chant Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, verses 1 to 5.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhihi Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi Dhanam Damascha Yajñascha Swadhyayastapa Arjavam Ahimsa Satyamakrodha Tyagashantirapaishunam Daya Bhuteshvaloluptvam Madhavam Hrirachapalam Tejakshama-dhriti shaucham Adroho nati-manita Bhavanti sampadam daivim Abhijatasya bharata Dambho darpobhimanascha Krodha parushyamevacha Ajnanam chabhijatasya Partha sampadamasurim Daivi sampadvimokshaya Nibandhaya surimata Mashucha sampadam daivim Abhijatosi Pandava.
We are now studying the first topic of this chapter, qualities of the divine and demoniac. We are still in sloka number 1. So, sloka number 1, he gives, sloka number 1, 2, 3, he gives the qualities of the divine. Very few qualities of the demoniac he gives. A lot of qualities of the divine he gives. Because demoniac qualities are not that important. And secondly, it's very familiar. We find it mostly in us. So, therefore, there is not much required to talk about it. So, first thing he said, when he talked about the divine quality, he said, abhayam, fearlessness. Fearlessness, we interpreted it also as becoming free from samsara. Samsara is actually something that springs out of insecurity. And that's the fear. And therefore we do everything. Due to the ignorance of our true nature, we imagine a false personality, a fake personality, the ego, and that ego is a limited personality. It's very insecure because it's limited. And to find security, the thoughts run towards the world outside, towards the material, acquisition, physical pleasures, emotional joys, intellectual delights, all these things to feel secure. So that bhaya is there. How much ever we get, we don't know whether it's enough. Like now the situation is such that how much ever we have, we don't know whether that reserve is enough. Like it happened during that Corona time. And now during war. Already they are talking about the gas cylinders and all that. Right? So, always in life, there is this insecurity, fear. So, fearless means no samsara. And samsara is living in the mind, living at the level of the ego and mind. And when you move from living at the level of mind and ego to live at the level of Atma, there is no fear. Mind is that which goes to the past and future. When you come to the present, mind becomes extinct. And it is the mind in which we all live. We don't live here existentially. In the world, everything is constantly changing. You, the witness, without changing, observe all the changes. So when you understand this, changes cannot upset you. There is no fear. So we dealt about fearlessness in detail, and then we discussed the next quality, sattva samshuddhihi, becoming absolutely pure, removing all conditionings, removing the rajas and tamas and increasing sattva. And ultimately, when you come to 100% sattva, you go beyond all the three gunas and become sattva atita, guna atita. So, abhayam sattva samshuddhihi. Then he said, jnana yoga vyavastitihi. Now, the person who's reached that state is talking about the qualities of the divine. One who's reached the ultimate, the spontaneous quality in that person, and also these qualities become the sadhana means for the people who want to reach that state. As we focus on these qualities and increase these qualities in us, the more and more we can imbibe the knowledge and live it. So they are very conducive. Hence we discuss these qualities. So it says, jnana yoga vyavastitihi. One who is steadfast in knowledge and yoga. Yoga comes from the root yuj, which means to unite, union. So steadfastly united in the union of the self, never moving away from the self, watching the procession of life go by from the point of view of self. Being in the balcony of the self is watching the procession of life going. Established in that jnana. Jnana yoga vyavastiti. Jnana yoga means it's not just reading and reflecting. It is nitya, anitya, viveka, vichara. Constant discrimination between what is eternal, what is ephemeral, and identifying with it, with what is eternal, and developing vairagya with what is ephemeral. What is transient, you don't identify with it. What is permanent, you identify with it. So, staying in the permanent aspect of life, staying in the changeless, then only you have jnana. You are able to chant Bhagavad Gita or give lecture on Bhagavad Gita or any subject for that matter, doesn't mean you have jnana. Are you identifying with eternal and not identifying with ephemeral? Then you are staying in jnana. Jnana yoga vyavastitihi. Steadfast in knowledge. Then such a person is he will have the quality of dhanam, charity. See, a lot of rajasic people also do dhanam. But that dhanam is a means for acquiring something. They want to acquire name, fame. They want to acquire punya palam, which will help them to go to Swarga. So they are booking seat in Swarga through Dhanam. You understand? So it is actually out of insecurity to add embellishment to the ego. Are you with me? Dhanam becomes an ornament for the ego in such cases. He is not talking about such kind of dhanam. True dhanam is only possible to be done by the person who is completely burnt the ego or to some extent burns the ego. It's an outcome of absence of ego. When you identify with the Atma, you understand that every being is essentially the same divinity. So, giving becomes a natural thing. Until then, you cannot give actually. It's not possible. Even if you give, you will be claiming the possessiveness of it, ownership of it. You will say that kurta is wearing is mine. You've given it to him, he's wearing it. But you will say the kurta I gave is mine. So you donate something and then on top of it, you want your name to be there. Right? So they are not really speaking true dhanam. From a different level, what is there is not yours. It is Bhagavan's. From a different level when you analyze. You understand? It is given to you. You deserved it through your karma. Right? And it is meant for the world to be shared. It's for one and all. You are only a responsible trustee. That's all. You understand? So that comes with the jnana yoga. So if you have established yourself in jnana yoga, identified with eternal, not with this ephemeral body, mind, intellect, then what naturally comes from you is dhanam. And dhanam doesn't mean it's done only on certain days to certain people at a certain time. No. Throughout life, once a person has awakened with that knowledge, throughout life, in every aspect, there will be charity. Understand? And then immediately he says, Dhamma, sense control. See, Dhanam and Dhamma, it's very interesting actually why he puts it in certain order. Dhamma means sense control. Surabhi told me before the class we have done up to this quality only. So, I'm just summarizing before we go to the next few qualities. Now, Dhamma sense control, as we have time and again mentioned, is not sense denial. It's neither sense denial nor sense indulgence. It's lending purpose to the contact. Things that will take you towards the goal, you contact. Things that will take you away from the goal, you don't contact. You understand? So, the senses are very much in the world, maybe perceiving it, you've not denied by running away from it. You're very much in the world, but with the knowledge, the senses are controlled and they don't run after the objects. Now, it's very interesting when he says, after dhanam, dhamma. See, when you truly are charitable, you will not consume more than what is necessary. You will not take more than what is necessary. There won't be hoarding possible. There is no possibility of hoarding at all. That's why I quoted that quotation, I think I did in the class, which is one of my favorite quotations. Nakedness of this world can be clothed with the trimmings of the vain. No, vain means vanity. For our ego, we keep on hoarding. So much we hoard that even the frills, if donated, can clothe the so many people who are naked. So what we are doing, we are taking more than what is necessary. Now, if you are having that awareness through that knowledge of establishing yourself in that eternal, then it's impossible that you will take more than what is necessary. See, when we talk about sense control, you cannot say this much only you should contact. If you take little more, it becomes indulgence. Who decides this? You understand? a farmer who works in the agricultural field a whole day, right, is physically exerted himself, who has done nothing except sitting and watching TV at home. You understand? Now, how can you say the farmer has eaten too much? Who decides all this? So it's not the quantum or quantity. That awareness where you don't take more than what is necessary, more than what you have contributed. That is Dhamma, that control. You understand? Sense control. And it is done with bhakti, it is done with love. That is Dhamma. That is sense control. People keep upavas as a practice of sense control. Later on, tapa is coming as a practice of tapa also. This upavas and all, really speaking, is not upavas, what we are keeping. Upavas, residing near, that's what it means. Vas means residing. Upa means near. Residing near the higher. Residing near the divinity. When the senses are exposed to the higher, in that awareness, they cannot indulge. They won't deny as well. So it's a control that is done out of awareness. So that's why he says, Abhayam sattva samshuddhihi jnana yoga vyavastitihi. Then Dhanam Dhamma. Then the next quality is Yajna. Now, Yajna literally means sacrifice. And all of us know about Yajna. We all know Yajna as a ritual where there is a kund in which, they make a kund out of bricks and then they put a lot of woods inside, dry wood, and they churn it with another wood, vertical wood. In the friction, it catches fire, and the priest is chanting mantra and offering a lot of grains, etc., into the fire brought by all the participants of the yajna, this fire worship. And all the participants also come and offer their ahuti. And as they offer, the fire shoots up. And thus there's a lot of sacrifice to the fire. The fire consumes the whole grains, burns the wood completely. And in the final stage, the ladle that was used to offer the ghee, etc., were also put in the yajna kund. And it burns everything. Finally, everything is burnt. They take the ashes and smear it on their forehead in 3 stripes, representing sattva, rajas, tamas, symbolizing going beyond sattva, rajas, tamas. They visit a temple nearby. With that, the yajna concludes. Now, this is how people do yajna. This fire worship everybody knows. Now, this is very highly symbolic, yajna. It is, the kund is your, family or organization in which the wood are the vasanas, right? You have to burn the vasanas. When you churn your personality, from that the self comes out. Like when you churn the wood, the fire comes out from the wood. The interesting thing about wood is it's both the fuel and the source for fire, isn't it? So in the wood there is fire, and that fire burns the wood. Like that, within you only the self is there. With that knowledge, when you churn, the spirit from within, the self from within, comes out and burns the vasanas. And then you go beyond the 3 gunas, you realize the self. This is a meaning. And also here, the ahuti is offered into that organization or the family, etc., which is the kund. And by offering, you are kindling the fire, the devata, who represents the divinity. You understand? Fire is taken to represent God because fire is the first element that can be seen. Space cannot be seen, air cannot be seen. Fire can be seen, then only water and earth. So therefore fire, and there are many other reasons why they worship fire as God, symbolically. So you offer and the fire shoots up and blesses you. So there is an offering and there is a kindling. These are all the important aspects of yajna. But what we need to understand here is, we are offering the ahuti to kindle the fire, but this is more symbolic to tell us that there is another Agni within. You need to kindle that Agni. And that Agni is Jnana Agni. You understand? No, we are all mechanically doing this yajna. But how many of us are really kindling the Jnana Agni? Hardly anybody. Isn't it? Jnana Agni, nobody is kindling. So therefore, we need to, from this yajna, understand that we need to kindle the Jnana Agni. And in the divine person, this Jnana Agni is always burning. The yajna is always going on. Every action of his is done with awareness. And there is zero selfishness. There is only selflessness. So yajna literally means selfless activity, sacrificial activities. Right? So that's what he's saying. Yajna, one who performs yajna. Such a person naturally, spontaneously, always performing yajna. And always the Agni within, the Jnana Agni, is constantly burning in him or her. So we also need to do that kind of yajna, in which our Jnana Agni constantly burns, constantly glows, not quenched. So, yajna is glorified even in the Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, the beginning itself, where he says, do action for the sake of yajna. He's telling Arjuna, yajnartam kuru karma, for the sake of yajna you do. Don't do any action selfishly. I was told when I was staying in Swami Ramana Maharishi's ashram for a few days, some devotee, there in Ramana ashram, everybody sits on the floor and eats. You have some knee problem and all, then they give you table chair. And everyone sits together and eats. There's no, lower, higher, no, nothing like that. So, I believe when Ramanaji was there, Swamiji was there, he also used to sit and eat with them. And one devotee saw Ramana Maharishi losing a lot of weight and becoming very thin, etc. So he said, Swamiji, you need a lot of strength. It's not correct. He gave him big Chonaprash dabba. He said, what is this? He asked Tamil me. In Tamil. What is this? Swamiji, this is for your health, Chonaprash, for you. Yeah, is it? Okay, give me. And he opened it. He took a little bit in a spoon and tasted it. It was nice. He said, Sabko de dijiye. Give it to everybody. See, it is impossible to be selfish thereafter. No. When you burn the ego, you burn the past and future. There's nothing you will keep for the future. There's nothing you will even see. For you, the future and past doesn't exist. You will meet the future always as the present. You understand? So, in the case of a ज्ञानी, कर्म फलम के लिए काम होता ही नहीं, फल इच्छा होता ही नहीं, हो नहीं सकता. If you have pala ichha, means you are still in the mind. Mind means it will crave for what you don't have and get attached to what you have. So jnani has gone beyond the level of ego. There is no like, for my future के लिए थोड़ा रखेंगे, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. Understand? That's why we said when we talked about fearlessness, a conscious, vulnerable life they lead, like flowers. If you remember, I told you, their life is more authentic. Ours is more plastic. Listen, because we have chosen falsitude. They have chosen the truth. So, past and future is a false. It's a big lie that the mind has been reiterating again and again. And as a result, we are all taking that to be the truth. But a jnani knows the truth. So, we keep for the future. When the nature created us, as soon as we were born, mother's milk was readily available. Gravitational force is there. Everything is given. But we don't have confidence in the divinity. We keep saying we are all bhaktas. Right? Remember that poem, Olive Tree. Two hermits planted the olive sapling because they wanted oil for midnight prayers. And one fellow's olive tree, while he was taking care of it, he was going on praying to God. Oh God, give this sunlight, give rain, give this thing, give shade. As he asked, it was given, but still his olive tree died. He went to see what happened to the other fellow's olive tree. The olive tree was very well growing. He said, how is it? My brother, tell. Well, mine is dying, yours is growing. He said, I entrusted my little tree to him. He who made it knew what it needed better than a man like me. That is bhakti. मैं थोड़ा फ्यूचर के लिए रख देता हूं. No. In the case of a jnani, there is no future. There is no saving. In the case of a jnani, there is only spillover. It's complete difference is there. You must understand this. It's not like they save for future. Saving for future obviously means what? You're still living the realm of the ego. No? आपके लिए थोड़ा सा रखना, आप अलग है. Right? So, in the case of a jnani, they lead a simple life. As a result, even after giving this maybe spillover. You understand? So, therefore, yajna is a natural outcome, spontaneous outcome in a jnani And those who aspire to get to that level need to develop this quality of performing action in the spirit of service and sacrifice. And the next he talks about is swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means self-study. It is studying, it is said as studying the scripture also. Daily studying the scripture. Now, swadhyaya means what? It's not just reading the book or the words. You understand? It's researching the life to find the self. That's called swadhyaya. Every day say, I've read today, 1 hour हो गया, मेरा स्वाध्याय हो गया. No. Swadhyaya is not just mechanical reading. Right? You research in every aspect of your life. Studying the swa. Swa means the self. Nothing other than that. To find the truth. Now, in the case of a jnani, it's not like he's doing things to find the self. Understand? Swadhyaya. I really study. Each and every aspect of jnani's life, we have to study. That is why we study Ramayana. Ramasya ayanam Ramayanam. The path that Rama traveled, the way he lived. When you read, it teaches the truths of life. Right? So a jnani, when he says swadhyaya, they are always in the swa, not in the other. In fact, for a jnani, there is no other. A jnani is in advaita. There is no dvaita for the jnani. So, we are more concerned about what others are thinking about us, what he is saying, what she is saying, what he is doing. The moment you come to Vedanta, you start focusing on yourself. Now, focusing on yourself is not selfish. Focusing on yourself is not selfish. Focusing on the real self within. Right? When you focus on the real self within, what happens to you is you start identifying with the self within. As a result, your chitta becomes vishala, broadened. So your identification with others increases. Selfishness is when you focus on the body, mind, intellect. The more and more focus on your body, your mind, your intellect, otherness grows. You understand? That is selfish. When you focus on the self, you will identify with the self, and as a result, you will take care of the body, mind, intellect. You will take care of the interest of the body, interest of the mind, interest of the intellect. But you will not be selfish. Are you with me? They are completely different. So, swadhyaya, basically study, daily study, swadhyaya, imbibing the knowledge. But here, it's not just studying the book, it's not studying the words. I've always given this example. When we say Pitambara, literally the word Pitambara means, you know what? Yellow cloth. But when I say Pitambara, who comes to your mind? Lord Vishnu, isn't it? One who's wearing the yellow cloth. Lord comes in your mind. So when we read the words, through the words, our focus should have gone to the Atma within. It's called self-study. Studying every aspect of our life and seeing the truth in everything, rather than giving importance to the other things. We have, for example, today, we count our wealth. But in this journey of earning the wealth, how much I've really grown as a person? How many of us ask that question? I went to school, I got education, I got a job or I did business, and made money. I'm counting my wealth. And I am learning more to invest my wealth and increase it further. In all these exercises, as a human being, how much I have grown? Do we really question that? If we do such things, then we are doing self-study. Do you understand? So that is what he calls as self-study. Otherwise, on rattoing the scriptures. What's the big deal? So Swadhyaya, then Tapa. Tapa, austerity. This Tapa is a very important quality. Three things Sri Krishna emphasizes. You'll see that in 17th and 18th chapter. 18th chapter clearly says, Yajna, Dana, Tapa should not be given. Yajna, Dana, Tapa are signs of spirituality. Tapas means conservation of energy that is getting dissipated in the lower channel, directing that conserved energy towards the higher. That is tapas. In the case of a jnani, it happens spontaneously because with awareness, there is no dissipation. With awareness, there is no dissipation. So, when we are in the path of moving towards the self, we need to conserve the energy to direct it in that direction. That's the commitment. Like they say, no professionalism. You are a cricketer. You need to make sure that you go to bed at a particular time, wake up at a particular time, do certain exercises, eat certain food. You can't do things which will dissipate your energy. Too late you sleep, wake up and come straight to the practice, not really, stretched out, not done the warm-up exercises, and then get some backache, not available on the day of game. It's what no professionalism. So tapa means austerity. Also, if you want to rise above ego, we need to understand what ego does. It's very interesting. What ego does is to protect itself against the uncertainty of life. It wants to hoard more and more. It wants you to go into your likes and dislikes. And when we go into likes and dislikes, we are setting our normal level at a very high level. See, a person who indulges, we always give this example of alcoholism. First, the fellow is quite fine without alcohol. Then he got acquainted to it through some parties and this and that. Then, for him, 1 glass of alcohol has become the normal level. Means he needs it now. Dependence हो गया. उसके अलावा नींद नहीं आता. Earlier, his level was 0 alcohol. Now 1 glass. Then slowly, he will go to 2 glass of alcohol becomes normal. Slowly he'll go to 1 bottle like that. So when you keep on catering to the ego, the normal level keeps rising. Are you with me? So when you go in the opposite direction of ego, normal level will be barest minimum at 0. So tapas is to train the mind that you can even survive without food for a day. You understand? You willingly, consciously, you deny. I'm using the word denial, but it's willingly done, so it's not denial. So such fellows, normal level will be very low. Right? Even when I came, first before the class, first thing Sonia asked, Swamiji, should I switch on the AC? Obviously now she switched on, it's quite comfortable now. Now if she will switch it off, you will see. Body will demand, hey yaar, put it on again. So if you do little tapas, I told her, I'm okay with that, without it. In between, they thought it's getting hot maybe, so they switched it on. But the point is, in spirituality, you will see people doing tapas. Now there is another kind of tapas, where you want to, one is people saying, I can stand 10 pegs. Other is people saying, I can go without food for 10 days. वो भी ego का embellishment हो जाता है. Yeah. So वो तपस सही, real तपस नहीं है. See, tapas means all these qualities as ego diminishes, and all these qualities are imbibed to achieve that goal of diminishing the ego for self-effacement purpose, not to embellish the ego more and more. So I can stand 10 pegs is one level. Others, I can stand 10 days without food to prove to the world. That is not tapas.
In a real world context, it would be translated as maybe disciplining the mind so as to attaching to a higher, whatever that is in that context, and letting go of the lower things that hold you back.
Yeah.
Would that be correct?
But the disciplining the mind is for what purpose?
That's the view.
If it is for selfish aggrandizement purpose, then it's not true tapas that he's talking about here. No doubt, even in the worldly level, guys whose mind is much more disciplined will be more successful. It's a separate thing. But here he's talking about tapas from the spiritual context. You understand? So, austerity, conservation of energy that is getting dissipated in the lower, directing it towards the higher. For what purpose? To keep the standard at a very low level, so that the demands of the mind is checked. Give the mind what it asks. It will ask for more, asks for more. And once it does that, then our whole life gets trapped in catering to the mind. Isn't that what we are doing? Going on asking, ये दे दो वो दे दो, पूरा लाइफ हम माइंड को सेवा करके जा रहे हैं, पूरा लाइफ मन का सेवा में हो जाता है. Isn't it? When are we doing seva to the Atma? So therefore, tapas is to shift our attention towards the divinity. So that's why he says, in this context he's emphasizing tapa, austerity. It's a sign of spirituality. Naturally, it happens in a spiritual person. It's the ego that demands more and more decoration, more and more acquisition, and all that. It's very interesting. If you see Shiva, Lord Shiva and Parvati, who represent the self and Prakriti, Purusha and Prakriti. Prakriti will be with a lot of ornaments, decorations and all. Purusha, the self, the Shiva, will be decorated with vibhuti, ashes. The idea is, and Shiva is a tapasvi. And when the gods and demons together churned the Milky Ocean, they got the alahala poison first. When they got the poison, they gave it to the great tapasvi Lord Shiva. And he drank it. Nothing happened to him. When they got the Amrita, they didn't think of Shiva. So, the difficulties in life, will come. But they should not affect you. So if you practice that tapas already, it's no big deal because your normal level itself is very low. Understand? It's not false modesty. It's not to show off to other people that I'm a very normal person, simple person. No. The person comfortably is able to put himself in difficulty. difficulties should be defeated. So when you are put in difficulty also, ego is not bothering you. If there is an option of lift versus staircase, at least while going down, which one you choose? Right, thoda tapas. But the mind straight away will choose the lift. So in spirituality, yajna, dana, tapa, very important. And after tapas, the last quality mentions in this shloka, at least today I think we'll complete verse number 1. Arjavam, uprightness, straightforwardness. Arjavam, uprightness. In thought, word and deed, being straight. We are so complicated. Thought will be something, word will be something, deed will be something. Thought will be, क्या जाना क्या, पता नहीं जाएंगे नहीं जाएंगे. Word will be जरूर, जरूर आएंगे, पक्का. Deed will be opposite direction चले गए. You understand? So in thought, word and deed, there is no uprightness in us. In a spiritual person, thought, word and deed, there is uprightness. In thought, in word, in deed, always given to dharma. That is uprightness. That's why Swamiji in the book, he nicely says, being true to oneself. Shakespeare says, to thine own self be true, and it must follow us night the day thou canst not, then be false to any man. If you're following your conscience, you're not false to anybody. So it's following your conscience, your conviction. That is uprightness. Being straightforward. Arjavam. See, we want something, but we will justify it. See, this is the problem, logic. Very interesting. It's a very interesting story. In one particular village, there was a Pahalwan, bodybuilder. He was really strong. He had a very big moustache, and he used to always roll his moustache up. And he doesn't like anybody else having such moustache rolled up. Only he wanted his moustache to be rolled up. Anybody had done that, he will finish him. So once one fellow was having such moustache, he came in front of him. He said, how dare you have moustache like this? Put it down, roll it down. He said, why? I will keep it like this. I'll finish you. Let's have a duel to finish you. He said, okay, I'm not afraid of you. Let's have a duel. But if I kill you, who will take care of your family? And by chance, I die, who will take care of my family? So first go, I'll finish my family, then I'll come and fight with you. If you want, you also go and do it, he says. So he says, correct. He goes He goes, kills everybody, and he comes back. This fellow comes back trimming his mustache. He says, what happened? I went there, I thought about it. Instead of killing all those people and coming and dying, or maybe I'll kill you, what is the big deal? I might as well trim my mustache, I thought. This fellow in the meantime has killed everybody. So in other words, clever, we keep justifying, giving logic to justify our actions. In fact, in Bhagavad Gita, in Mahabharata, you will see Sri Krishna was upright. A lot of people don't understand this. They think Sri Krishna did not have this arjavam. No. He was upright. It's very difficult to understand this quality of uprightness. He didn't follow anything teda meda. They followed teda meda. So in their own language, he gave them the answer. He is always upright. He went there as a emissary, telling them, let's not fight. Duryodhana tried to imprison Sri Krishna. You understand? Duryodhana did all kinds of nonsense. Duryodhana tried to imprison Sri Krishna. You know the story. And then all the fellows single-handedly killed Abhimanyu, which is against the rules of the war. When Abhimanyu was single and had no weapons, he was Nirayodapani. These fellows killed him. So many people with all the weapons. So, that is uprightness there. You should understand what is uprightness. He never, he was always being truthful. He was never truthful to the core, to Dharma. He was not justifying, for this sake I am doing like this. I am following the rule. You break the rule, I have to establish Dharma. That is my karma.
Swamiji, then when the Ashwatthama incident
Same thing. Yeah. Because who started the whole thing? Duryodhana wanted to play game of dice with Yudhishthira. Duryodhana should have played. He said, on my behalf, Shakuni Mama will play. At least that time Yudhishthira should have said, on my behalf, Sri Krishna I will bring. Neither did he say, nor Krishna say, you want to bring somebody, bring. Okay, everywhere these fellows will do all kind of nonsense. So I have to be upright for Dharma. My uprightness is not to you, to Dharma. You get it? So Sri Krishna that way was always upright. So we have concluded verse 1 today. Right? Successfully. Right? So next week we'll start verse 2. Let's conclude. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.